Alright, good day folks. I'm here to bring you a video update on Zilliqa. There's so many interesting things happening on the chart right now. So in this video, I'm going to run through some technical analysis, talk about what I see happening both short-term and long-term. And guys, don't worry about all these lines. We're going to simplify it. We're going to run through this make sense. I know people tend to freak out when they see lines, but I promise you an argument could be made that they do make some degree of sense. So if you like the sound of that, please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to notify new uploads. It really helps us out. I appreciate it. It helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, and you get to stay up to date with the latest and greatest in crypto and technical analysis. This channel is a hidden gem. So let us delve into this, folks. I promise it's going to make sense. Before we delve into like the actual on-chart stuff, let's take a look at our indicators just to get a sense of what the market as a whole is doing. That way we can focus on the price action and really start to simplify. We're going to take some things away here, make this make sense here. So there's key support levels that we're going to run through, but just understand our indicators. Bullish cross from the daily, weighted MACD's up, everything looks bullish. RSI making higher highs, higher lows, bullish divergence instead of descending triangle. The only thing that looks bearish from the daily is the stochastic. That seems to want to have a bearish crossover. The stochastic is great because it's good for understanding shifts in trend, but not the extent of the shift in trend, that just that a shift in the trend is coming. So daily looks bullish, I'd say. 12-hour is where we're starting to see some signs of some bearishness. Bearish weighted MACD crossover, stochastic RSI on the way down, a MACD starting to tick down. 6-hour bearish crossover from the MACD, 6-hour bearish, 4-hour bearish, except for the MACD starting to tick up, and the stochastic RSI in the oversold region starting to move up as well. So hey, we're starting to see some signs that we could go up on the 4-hour, but on the 1-hour. Stochastic RSI is overbought, and everything else is trending up though. So just gonna summarize here a bit with our indicators. Macro trend is bullish, daily is bullish. We're starting to see in the mid hourlies that some weakness, which means we could see a further a pullback. So let's take a look at the price action, because I think that's what's the most important thing to understand here. So let me just begin by saying this green box here I think is the most important support area for Zilliqa. This is where I would look to accumulate Zilliqa, and where I would find Zilliqa, where I would expect Zilliqa to find at the very least temporary support if we were to correct, given that in the hourly time frames we're seeing some weakness and some overboughtness. So let's just kind of begin by explaining what's going on here. We'll start taking some things away. So I kind of drew a Fibonacci extension and retracement, and this green box kind of lines up to some fib levels that will act as support. So now that you just kind of understand what those are, let's just take that out of the way, give us some more space. Also, this green box lines up with a bunch of our EMAs on like the hourly charts. 200 EMA, 100 EMA on the hourlies line up around here as well. There's a bunch of support and resistance lines, given that we're kind of in this descending triangle and we kind of broke out bullishly here. Whenever you have a tough time placing support and resistance lines in ascending or descending triangles, what you can do is take a look at the line graph to see the closing, and this kind of helps you out to understand where it makes sense to place support and resistance lines when it's not very clear, when like the wicks don't line up exactly perfectly. So this kind of makes some sense to me. Okay, on different time frames, we close at different areas. Like the line graph is determined by where the candlesticks close on the time frame you've selected. So it's different depending on what like time frame you look at. Like if we go to the 12, it'll be slightly different. But I do think this is valid enough, because I think the point in me bringing up like all these different support lines is the fact, if we just go back to our candles, that there's different ways to look at this, yes, but it all kind of points in the same direction. It kind of points in this area, acting as support. We all see these support lines, given them, which are extensions of like the descending triangle, all line up within this green box region. We could expect to find support through any of these green lines, because there's different ways to draw this. If we were to correct, which is around my green box, which again, we're starting to see a lot of signs point towards that green box area being very important, with Fibonacci extensions, increased spike in volume around here, a bunch of support lines around this area as well. Guys, we were kind of, like I said, in this descending triangle, but we could also interpret this as a wedge if we kept those lines, but more of a macro ascending triangle here. Okay, there's also some green support lines that I've drawn that we can interpret this whole thing to be a macro ascending triangle. Green lines being support, red lines being resistance, that again line up with my green box here. So we're starting to see a lot of confluence of support and resistance levels Fibonacci extension levels, and exponential moving averages all throughout this area. So just to kind of say what this area is, because I know I have been not hinting at it, it's 71 cents to 63 cents. Sorry, apologies. 71 cents, because it's not 70 cents, it's 7 cents. 71 cents to, I'd say, 63 cents is critical support for Zilliqa. There's so many support lines in that area, exponential moving averages, Fibonacci retracement levels, spike in volume here. I would be very surprised if we broke down below this level. Obviously, it's technically possible. Below that, I think kind of the 6 cents will act as critical support, and below that, kind of the 5 cents will be critical support based off of areas that we found support before. Last time we corrected, like as we can see here, 5 is pretty price reactive. It acted as resistance here and support here, price reactive area. Over here, another area, kind of like the 6 cent, we found support here last time we corrected, and so yeah, we pumped here, corrected here. Let's zoom in, you guys can barely see that. So yeah, based off these two peaks here, it's this is a clearly price reactive area. I forget what time frame I was looking at, but I could have sworn there were some more wicks in this area. You know what, let's remove this because I don't think this is as good an area to look at. Let's just consider this to be like the support area. Yeah, something like, let's see if these different wicks line up. They do. So yeah, here and here is where I would draw support. Yeah, that's better. That makes more sense, guys. Okay, so that support, in my opinion, these levels, 6 cents, 5.7 and 5.5 will be support, at least temporary support, in my opinion, if this area does not hold. So let's kind of talk about the resistance areas above us and kind of the short term, and what's the next movement we can expect, because there's so many macro things going on here. What can we expect next? Well, I think 83 cents is clearly price reactive. Here we got rejected. We're getting rejected off it now. So if we can get above this area, I think we're likely to test this red line. If we get to this red line, I think we're likely to test this red line. So bottom line, I think the important thing to look out for here is these key resistance levels based off the previous peaks. Each new peak we tackle, it's more likely that we can tackle the next peak, which is because those are resistance levels. And ultimately, I think Zilliqa is kind of in this very, very macro ascending triangle, really. Okay, we have, let's say, so in the micro triangle, we have 16 days before we break out. We have max 40 days in this thing. If we break out of this very macro ascending triangle, if we can break above 10 cents here, ooh, guys, could Zilliqa be absolutely flying? Set your alerts, guys. Set your alerts on TradingView. All you have to do is right click here on TradingView. You can set add alert. As soon as you see Zilliqa at 10 cents, I think this thing could really, really fly, folks. Like, let's take this let's take the height. Let's take a conservative case of this ascending triangle. You know, move it to the breakout point. If we hit 10 cents, I think we hit 15 cents like soon afterwards, guys. So, you know, set your alerts. If Zilliqa 10 cents, I think could fly, and then we could go into like, oh, this is a bull flag pattern and all that stuff. But let's not delve into that. Ultimately, I think if we can, you know, take our wedge here for a sec. Yeah, this wedge here. We seem to have like broken out bullishly out of this wedge here. So we can even take the height of this. Let's call this a descending triangle. Let's be as conservative as we can, because the more conservative we are, the more likely the scenario, the more likely it is things could play out. So if we can get above, guys, some of these key resistance levels, these two red lines, the more likely we are to break out bullishly and tackle all-time highs, guys. Like, yeah. So let's see if we can find a key. Yeah, if we get above, yeah, ultimately, guys, I think we just need to start seeing, just to kind of summarize here to wrap up a bit, because there's so many tangents we can go off here. Ultimately, I think the important thing people need to understand is these previous peaks here. As soon as we can continue as soon as you see Zilliqa tackle these previous peaks here, that's telling you that it's likely to see a continuation. The more of these previous peaks it tackles and breaks above, the more likely it is we are to see continued bullish trending. I think just because we can get into so many things, indicators, and what's likely to not, but really I think it's just these peaks. These are the peaks we need to look out for. The more of these peaks we tackle, the more likely we are to see bullish continuation. Ultimately, key support level is 7.1 cents to 6.3 cents. That's where I would be looking to accumulate personally if we fell back down there. No guarantee we fall back down there, to be honest, folks. You know, based off like this wedge and ascending triangle, these slanted lines I do believe will act as support based off like this bottom here, and these 3 wicks. If we just extend those support lines, I do think this will be valid. So folks, stay tuned to this channel. We'll be breaking down critical technical analysis all throughout this bull run. Like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell to be notified of new uploads. Check out our Discord, link for that will be down in the description. We have helpful technical analysis resources if you guys are looking to learn more about TA down in our Discord. If you want to trade these markets, we always recommend bybit because it's our favorite exchange to use. Be very careful with leverage trading. It's very risky. Don't invest or trade anything you're not willing to lose. And check out Token Metrics. It's an AI-fueled price predictions portfolio suggestions platform that I use to help inform my thought process on this channel. They offer like a paid trial. It's like $10 for a week. So check that out. Link down in the description below. Links for everything down in the description below. Stay tuned to this channel, folks. If we start to break above these key resistance levels, we'll definitely be talking about it in our Discord group and on this channel. Thanks for watching and take care.